Oh, it's Ballers. It's Ballers. It's your brand of Ballers, I swear.
No, dude, I don't want to hear from you anymore. Human beings have evolved since then.
You don't understand. You don't understand. It's about primal. It's about brutal animal instinct. You don't understand the savagery.
No. It's about you, and that's how it's always been.
Don't give me your namby-pamby, self-analyzing wanker bull. All right.
I can't even have this conversation with you. I can't. It comes like this every time.
You just want it to be your way. It has to be your way every single time. The way you want it to be. That's what it's got to be. It's about what you want.
We're recording, buddy. So we were just having a little discussion for the past 30 minutes or so. It was more theoretical, I would say, right, Vito?
Yeah. We're just sounding it out. We're just, working it out.
Okay. All right. Basically, if cavemen and astronauts were fighting, who would win? No weapons. We agreed on that. No weapons.
No weapons. Nope.
Leave your answers in the comments. And on that note, we cue the intro.
A place of horrors in the depths of the night. You hear the calling your heart of darkness.
Hello, Freaky Frighteners. You got the Brewster for Brewster Vision presents Brewsteria, and with me is my friend Vito Trigo, whose filming credits include Bring On the Dam, Eating Ms Cambell, Return of Nuke, High Volume 2, and My Bloody Banjo. What is up, man?
Not much, buddy. It's cold as all hell. That's what it is. That's wish the temperature was up. Jeez.
Well, I think we're all facing that miserable January blues right now, so you're not alone there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I just recently took a peek. You got a lot of Troma filmography here. I saw Bring On the Damned when it first aired on Troma now a couple months ago. And that was Brandon Boscham. And you were in one of the segments, correct?
Yep. There's the Exorcist segment, yeah.
So how did you get involved in that?
Well, what was the word? He's been working on this. He was working on this segment for a long time, piecing it together, especially like during COVID. And he was at the tail end of the production, and he called me up, and he was just like, "Hey, man, I was wondering if you could help me out with this scene, the priest exorcist scene in there." And because I think it was just like he wanted to add a little stakes to the scene, so he added something in there. And he called me up, and he's like, "We want to be in." I was like, "Yeah, sure." It was just a day. Quick afternoon at the Troma office.
Yeah.
And when I was like looking at the scene, it was like to break it down into like wrestling terms for you, like professional wrestling terms. My scene is the squash match before the pay-per-view match in the segment.
Okay, fair enough.
She's got to squash me to create some stakes. So then during the Exorcist scene, it's a little bit like, oh, okay. This is serious, So that's how I always looked at that scene. He's like, because Amanda Flowers plays the possessed person in it. Shush up, you phone! I'm speaking to you. She plays, she's possessed, and I'm trying to my character tries to figure out if she is possessed, and then I get torn apart. So
in typical Troma fashion.
Yeah, but I broke it down that was my how I broke it down in my head, just doing the scene.
Yeah.
It was just this is the more it's just the squash match before the pay-per-view. Because some people be like, "Oh, but why'd you come and just do this one little thing?" It's like it's part of the story. It's part of the story. It's a memorable part. I tear my face off. It's fucking So there's a lot of cool things to it to make kind of you can kind of be like, "Oh, this is cool. That's cool. Okay, let's go have some fun."
Yeah.
some people would probably get very like you know a little uppity because it's like you're coming in and asking you to come in for like a small scene. It's like yeah, but it's an important scene.
Yeah.
So it's like nah. I have fun. And I'm proud of it.
Are you as proud as I got to cut back this because what we talked about off camera here? My Bloody Banjo.
I'm very proud.
Mention that again.
I'm very proud of my bloody banjo, especially because Liam Regan directed it. Uh, it started from a friendship that was made on Return to Nukem High
Uh-huh.
because he was helping out on that as a and he was like wanting me to be a part of the movie. So
Yeah.
like it was wonderful thing. Like it was my first time in England because we filmed it in England. So I get flown out there. I get to do this balls to the wall character. And I mean, and I remember like it was like my thought process of playing Mr. Sawyer was you take Stone Cold Steve Austin and Max Schreck from Batman Returns. You just kind of mold them together a little bit, and that's Mr. Sawyer for me.
I can see that. Christopher Walken's character in Batman Returns.
Yeah. Well, because if you look at Max Schreck, he shouldn't be in Batman Begins. He shouldn't be in the Batman world. He's like this weird, like really cool villain because sometimes he outdoes like the Penguin a little bit and being like dastardly and he's so kind of smooth a little bit,
Yeah.
Because I kind of thought that about Mr. Sawyer when I looked at it. I was like, I feel like Mr. Sawyer shouldn't be here. He's this crazy Southern man in this British paper company. Why is he here? And I created a backstory in my head that he was actually a gangster in America, and he fled America and just ended up in some fucking paper company in Britain, which is why he's got very like very like hard nosed approach to being a manager.
Right.
But
Well, my favorite. So we're trying to avoid spoilers as much as we can here. However, the one scene we talked about before we started filming that I want to make sure I bring up again is if people haven't seen the movie, what's the actor's name? He was the doctor
Lawrence Harvey.
from Human Centipede 2, correct?
Yep, Lawrence Harvey. Yep, my little buddy Lawrence Harvey. Yep.
So he comes into your office as your employee, and you have this scene in there, which I mentioned was great because you have the Steve Austin aspect of it, but then you pick up the phone and say that his mother died, and for a second there, it seemed like you were being genuine, like you were concerned or whatever, and you made a point about what everybody seems to ignore about that entire scene.
Yeah. Well, because like I earlier in the movie, Lawrence Clyde is extraordinarily late. So I give him a really hard time.
Mm-hmm.
But then he gets bullied by other people he gets bullied by other people. So then he comes to my office with a gun, coming to shoot my ass as I'm working late, hard at my job, trying to make a go at a good life. This little butterball pug-looking motherfucker tries to come in there and shoot my ass. So I'm in survival. Mr. Sawyer's in survival mode here. I don't know what people want to make Mr. Sawyer the bad guy. I'm like, in that scene, Mr. Sawyer's the good guy. Come on, let's break it down, all right? I ain't killing nobody. I ain't shooting nobody. He's trying to attack me, man. So I flipped the script on his ass. I played his mind a little bit. I go, hey, man, let's call your mom. Let's see how your mama feels about this. Ooh, your mama's dead now, bitch. And then he blows his brains out.
You weren't. You were fighting with your wits while he had a gun on him.
Yes, I was playing with my mind. Like I said, my mind. He came in there trying to shoot me with a gun and his 2-inch pecker, and I was like, nah, man, I'm gonna keep with my mind. My mind. I got a foot long pecker, all right? And I killed your ass, all right? Don't be bringing no small dick to a big dick fight, So, but yeah, I just said like, people always want to say, oh, he's a bad guy, he's evil, and I'm like, no, misunderstood. Maybe an asshole. I would definitely say he's an asshole.
Yeah.
But come on, there's degrees in life. So,
You would say he was the type that he'd be angry because if you couldn't work late, he couldn't work late.
yes. If you can't work late, I can't work late. If you can't stay late, I can't stay late. If you can't stay late, I can't stay late.
A little Scrooge reference for all you Bill Murray Christmas Fanatics there. It's one of our favorite movies.
I love that movie so much. You know, Bill Murray hates that movie.
He does.
Yeah, he does, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? That's one of those weird things where you can't like divorce what you wanted from how it was made in a way.
Yeah.
Because apparently he was like duking it out with Richard Donner the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's like well, no, the segue this back to My Bloody Banjo. I lost my voice on My Bloody Banjo because I flew over and I got sick right away for some reason. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
And I lost my voice. So the entire movie, I was like drinking olive oil to soothe my voice in between takes. And I felt like that inhibited my performance. So for a long time there, I felt really bad about my performance in My Bloody Banjo.
Yeah.
But Liam loves it, and certain people really like it. So I got to divorce how I feel about the performance because at the end of the day, I didn't do it so I could sit at home and jerk off and watch myself. It's so other people could watch it and enjoy it and get something out of it. So it's like, okay.
Right.
I feel like some people really have a hard time with that. Like Bill Murray right there, where he's just like, I hate this movie because I didn't get what I wanted. I didn't do it my way. It's like, so what?
Yeah.
I enjoy it. You enjoy it. We're the people you made the movie for.
Right.
So it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah. But that's the artist thing, where sometimes the artist thing can be so a double-edged sword, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can make really great stuff, but sometimes you can, like, you know, inhibit your own enjoyment of other people enjoying things.
Yeah.
So
even though you felt your voice was out, Liam was the director, correct? Is that his name, Liam?
yeah, Liam Regan, yep.
He liked it, and the audience liked it, so you're okay with it then?
Yeah. That was just like me having to come to terms with, like, you know, it's not made for me to watch it. It's made for other people to watch it, and you know, so it's like, okay, yeah. It's just it was a learning lesson of, like, you know, like the process of, you know, you have to give yourself over to a project, and you have to give yourself over that you're not going to be a part of every aspect of the making of it.
Yeah.
They're going to pick and choose, and things are going to be put on screen that, you know, however they go about it, and you have to deal with that because you're a slave to the story and whatever comes out of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't get that. They get like very like, you know, like, oh, like you didn't have all my stuff in there. You didn't have all my improv in there. You didn't, you know, the camera wasn't on me the entire time. What's up with that? All these kind of like weird things that people do. And it's like, you're a slave to the process. You're a slave to the story. You have to give yourself over to that to be able to, for the story to be told.
Yeah.
And I learned that, even though I knew that before, you know, because I knew that before, but this was like the one time where I was like, I felt like I did a bad job.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh no, people still enjoy it. He approves of it. So it's like, okay. I came to terms with it very slowly. It's like Gary Oldman said the same thing about Dracula. He hates his performance in that.
Yeah.
But people love it. So he has to be like, well, it's like, that's how you feel, and that's totally respectable. I don't like me. Yeah. You know, he doesn't like what he did in it. So it's like, okay. He's much more open to it than Bill Murray is about, you know, because, you know, he'll talk about Dracula, where he's just like, I don't want to talk about Scrooge. So
I heard a similar thing between him and Richard Dreyfuss on the set of What About Bob. I love that movie.
yeah, but that's going to happen when you have two pricks on one set. You have two pricks, and they're probably wondering, like, why am I not number one on the call sheet? Why am I not number one on the call sheet? I was in Jaws. It's like, I was Ghostbusters, bitch. You know, it's like, you know.
Yeah.
You know, when you got two pricks there, it's like, oh God, who wants to be here for fucking 3 months?
I love both those movies, so I just know if I ever met either one of them, I just make sure not to mention it.
Yeah, or like, it's one of those things you're like, when somebody mentions something about a movie that you like really love,
Yeah.
and somebody wants to say something like something comes out, you're like, I don't know if I want to I don't want to get into that. Don't ruin my enjoyment of it. I mean, it's like like I loved House of Cards,
Yeah.
but then all the stuff about Kevin Spacey came out, and I was like, it's like it's terrible about what happened, but then you're like, but now I just can't. And now I can never watch House of Cards without thinking about that. You know, so it's
I
like,
feel
damn.
you. I feel you because even though he's not the main character, he's in Horrible Bosses 1 and 2, and I love those movies.
Yeah, it took me, dude. I didn't watch Horrible Bosses
Yeah.
until recently, because when I realized that he's not that big of a part of it, I could just enjoy the chunks where it's just the three dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just because it's still around that time a little bit. It's like it's so weird because like when you know that someone's done something, especially when it's done on a particular set, it's
Yeah.
so hard to watch something and be like get enjoyment out of it when you know that when this is being made, there's some shit going on.
Yeah.
Like even like even the Shining a little bit when you like the treatment of Shelley Duvall.
Oh yeah,
But
Kubrick is supposedly was very emotionally abusive.
yeah, yeah. Even that makes me get a little like when I think about it, I'm like, I don't think you need to go. I don't think you need to go there.
Yeah.
You know, because like she also gets she gets slacked on for that performance. But I mean, like, dude, she's like hyperventilating and going crazy. Like she's like doing the opposite of Jack, where Jack is allowed to be crazy and get all be all like and
Yeah.
there's Shelley being like, he's like, whoa, man, that's actually fucking hard to do on a consistent basis. But she gets slapped for it. You
Well,
know,
wasn't Kubrick also known for like 75 shots of one take?
yeah, 80, like 80, like I mean, like what was it? Scatman and Crothers was like, we did 80 takes of me getting out of the plow and walking to the hotel, and I was like, only later did I decide to ask him, what was up about that? Oh, you were going too far to the left. He's like, okay. Now in my head, as an actor, I've been like, what do I need to do right now? What's going on? How can I help this?
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. And now I would ask somebody like, what can I do? Because there's multiple reasons why sometimes shots don't work. It's like a technical reason. It's a pacing thing. There are multiple reasons why sometimes things. But if you don't, but for 80 takes, he didn't give any direction. So they're like, whoa, wait a second here. Why didn't you just say, hey, keep it in where you're going too far left?
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where I'm like, because there's some directors who don't direct. They just kind of let you be. But then they do the long takes thing.
Yeah.
Like Robert Duvall, like straight up hates Stanley Kubrick films.
Right. I can imagine.
Robert Duvall is just like, he gives the worst performances. The worst performances are Stanley Kubrick. They're great movies, but terrible performances are in those movies. They're terrible. Terrible. It's like he has great actors and he makes great actors do terrible things. Oh, great movies though. Great movies. Terrible performances. I'm like, ah, tell me how you really feel, Robert. But he does have a certain point to it. I mean, it's one of those like, because I think Spielberg asked about Jack's performance in The Shining
Yeah.
to Kubrick because they were pals. I think he said like, Stanley, Jack's a little bit kabuki theater here a little bit, don't you think? And then Kubrick's response was, like, who your favorite actors? And he starts listing off his actors. He's like, oh, Jimmy Stewart, yada, yada, yada. He's like, you never said James Cagney. So it's just about preferences. And his thing was like, big style thing. And I think that sometimes he maybe was trying to get people to go to that place in a way that was probably not very, instead of just straight up asking someone to go there,
Yeah.
maybe he just like wanted them to get there by like exhausting them to where they were uninhibited with their mind. Fincher does that too, where he will meticulously go about it, like 80, like to that close 80 takes area.
Yeah.
But I think because he's so meticulous, you can get on board with why he's doing it.
I've heard stories about that people like whether it's directors or whatnot, and obviously I'm nowhere near the business or whatever, but just I'm guessing it's true or whatever, but because you just confirmed it. them poking at you and like, you know, kind of like basically trying to dig up your past trauma in order to get a very authentic kind of reaction out of you. And it's great for film, but for someone who has some past, you know, mental issues or whatever, that could be very damaging.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like, it's what's the word there? I'm a firm like because like there's like there's a method of acting where you do recall memory,
Mm-hmm.
where you take a bad like like oh you think about your dog dying so you can cry.
Yeah.
I don't like doing that shit.
Yeah.
I don't like doing it because here's an example of it. Okay, let's say it worked. Okay, you
Yeah.
think about your dog dying and you cry and you cry. You use it for every role, but you didn't think about this. You get too used to it.
Uh-huh.
And then when you go to use it again, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that negative memory is now double negative in a weird way.
Yeah.
It's still the sad memory of your dog dying, but also it didn't work.
Yeah.
So weirdly, it becomes this weird, like, there's a little bit more negativity added to the equation for some reason. And that sticks with you. Like that, because like when you're an actor, you're this emotional athlete. But when you do that stuff, it's kind of like counterproductive because you're kind of fucking with yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's an example of that where people are like, just think about your dog dying, or think about this really terrible moment in your life. It's like, I don't like doing that because now I'm just like, God knows what mental damage I'm doing to myself for the sake of your movie.
Yeah.
So I have to keep it in like the imagination of things,
Right.
be there and just like, really think about it and inhale about it a little bit. Because you can get yourself just thinking about other people's shit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the difference between like, some like, paper actors and some real actors out there,
Yeah.
that, I just don't like doing that where it's like, like it's different, like now a flip on that would be to like connect to Rob Reiner, R.I.P. Rob Reiner,
Yeah.
the Princess Bride, Mandy, Indigo Montoya. He was taking the fact that his father died from cancer and was saying it into his lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he encounters the six-fingered man who killed his dad,
Yeah.
he was basically saying like, "Fuck you, cancer.
Yeah.
Fuck you, cancer." You basically so when he's saying, "My name is Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. My parents died. My name is Indigo Montoya." When he's really getting into it, he's basically yelling at cancer in his mind.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was yelling at the fact that his father was taken from him in real life, but he was using it as if a cancer, this illness was in front of him.
Right.
So basically, it became like therapy.
Yeah.
And out of that therapy, we get this badass scene where he's like, boom, boom,
Right.
My name is Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. The path to die. He's like, fuck it. I love that scene, man. That's a fucking badass scene, man. But there's always like flips. It's always about, where you go about it and how you use it,
No, you're not wrong because he was definitely doing that in a sense of facing his fears and saying "fuck you" basically.
Yeah, taking it back.
Right.
Taking it back. Yeah.
As opposed to digging up some past trauma that where I see your point where it could not bother you anymore, but it could also something maybe you forgot about and were able to finally move on from. It could dig up those old memories and kind of do some damage on you,
Well, actually, okay, just to segue back to horror.
Sure.
Freddy's dead.
Yeah.
The blonde girl whose name escapes me. I'm sorry.
Tracy.
Yeah. When she has that fight with the abusive dad,
Mm-hmm.
in the middle of that, she got triggered. And she figured out she was abused.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So that's where that's why I'm like, when people want to dismiss actors and they want to kind of put it down this lower tier thing, actors sometimes, if you're worth your salt, sometimes you do tackle the things that a lot of people suppress and repress and put over here and don't deal with. I mean, like the old guys, they'd be like, "Oh, your handshake, no hugs." Like, motherfucker, why don't you want a hug? Are you afraid you're gonna cry? Come here for a hug. Give me a hug, bitch. Give me a hug. Hug me. Hug me, motherfucker. Hug me. Come on. So it's like that stuff where it's like generations of people that repress and push shit down. you gotta like you kind of face it head on a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
So
I get that to a degree because unfortunately the way things are now with people we unfortunately come into contact with, you do have to learn to kind of balance it out, deal with it for a little bit, but then eventually you just got to kind of lock it off and move on,
yeah,
because my issue is I've had people who can sympathize with some of the things that I've been through or they claimed, and then turn around and do the exact same thing. And when you believe the person you're chatting with knows your trauma and then does the same thing to you, that hurts worse than anybody else doing it because they're supposed to know how it feels,
oh yeah.
So that's a rough spot that we do not need to get into here. Let's keep it on horror and fun stuff.
Well, I love like sprinkling in like I get to sprinkle in that random trivia that's just in my mind and just kind of spit it out here.
No, by all means. Did you? So I looked over your filmography aside from the stuff I've seen. You got quite an extensive one of horror stuff. What drew you to the genre? Have you always been a fan of it, or?
Well, I mean, I always said that I was a lonely fat kid who just watched horror films, and that was my like escape from society in a way. I mean, like my sister had a VHS recorded, like she like recorded it off like HBO.
Yeah,
Was Friday the 13th. Jason Lives was on a VHS tape that we had,
Mm-hmm.
and I watched it all the time. I remember it would cut out to like Rags to Riches for some reason, that old 80s show.
Yeah.
And I just watched that a lot. It was just like it was weird because I would scare myself. I'd put it in. I would scare myself. I would stop the tape. I would rewind back. That thing you would do when you were a kid when you're just watching something.
Yeah.
Especially when you're not supposed to be watching it. I'd watch it down in the basement. My mom wasn't aware that I was watching it. So I don't know. It's always just been a place of escape,
Mm-hmm.
place that you can kind of like. Because also there's that funny thing that people don't realize, that horror movies are, and it's an essential tool for survival in a way,
Mm-hmm.
because it kind of like warms you up for the world,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Yeah.
Think about it, like it's like samurais. Samurai is like a samurai will think about death every day, so that
Yeah.
when death comes, they are not afraid. You watch horror movies all the time, so when terrible shit happens, you can cope. I think a lot of I think if you brass tacks to a lot of in the horror community, I'm pretty sure it was just like self medication in a way for the trials and tribulations of life, the confusing parts of life, growing up and not being understood. So you just go dive into horror films, man. Dive into fandoms that are out there. I mean, so, and then you find your own community there, and then you embrace that, and you start wearing all black and covering yourself in tattoos, and all of a sudden you go, "Hey, I feel happy now." So, just to give an example.
No, I relate to that 100% because when I started this stuff, I guess technically it was about 2 years ago, but I've only been doing YouTube stuff for about a year. It was a similar thing. I mean, I've always been into horror movies ever since I was a kid. I like to gross people up, so I was that weird kid in kindergarten eating dirt and stuff like that,
Well, that was an example. That was a way for you to express yourself, and it came out that way.
Yeah.
It's just the different ways. I mean, it's like when people try to put a cap on someone's communication, it can inhibit them.
Yeah.
So, but that was your way of expressing yourself. That's a song.
Yeah,
Scary.
I get into sports and all that kind of stuff,
You were Shelley and Friday the 13th 3.
Sure.
You were Shelley. You're like, no one was right. I just wanted people to like me. So I do the gag. I'm dead.
I did, dude. So when I was growing up in elementary school, junior high school, whatever, by high school I made a name for myself apparently. But I wasn't in with like the sports crowd, or I definitely didn't have good grades, whatever. I made friends by being a smartass to the teacher, making people laugh.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the attention I got from it, and it made me a lot of friends, and people liked just that I would just tell some of these not all of them, but some of these teachers who were just douchebags, just and that's where I found my niche, is just making people laugh, But then, like I said, about 2 years ago, depending on how you look at it, started, I jumped into doing horror stuff for coping mechanism. And just like you said, you find your little niche with the horror community. And aside from close family and stuff, I don't know another niche that has been more welcoming in my 43 years on this planet than the horror community. You know, it's
Well, I mean, yeah.
networking as shit, you know?
Well, yeah, 'cause it's one of those things where it's like, it's like you see somebody wearing an Evil Dead T-shirt, and you're like, "Hey, we can have a conversation." It's the peak because everyone's just there is like this weird, not weird, but it's like this innate wanting to find like a collective
Mm-hmm.
to kind of just be a part of, just so you can feel safe and secure and be yourself. You don't have to put on a mask.
Mm-hmm.
How people tell you how to talk and how to speak and how to be. When you can find your the circle that you're supposed to be a part of, and you can be your weird kooky self who wants to play dead,
Yeah.
to scare people, or that's what it's all about. It's just in the long run, it's just trying to figure out a place where you belong.
Yeah. I'm 43 years old and still looking, but I think I'm making some strides here, you know?
I'm 40. I'm 42. I'm 42. What was my? I'm about to turn 42. Hold on. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. I thought I was already 42. I was like, oh god, no. I don't know. There's a mental thing about the 40s so far. I'm like, god dang it.
All
Something
I've
about
noticed about 40s is that certain things start hanging lower than they used to.
I don't think I'm there yet, but I'm glad I think it's just a weird like being more cognizant of what your body's doing a
Shit.
little bit. You're like that's all. I think. It also just feels like because there's some days where I'm like I still wake up and I think I'm 30,
Yeah.
and then I'm like nope, not 30. It's like all of a sudden like it's like you time travel. You think you're 30, and then all of a sudden it's just like some weird like butterfly effect. You're like
Mm-hmm.
nope, 41, 40, fucking one.
It's like
You
those
know,
dreams you wake up, you're late to school, then you realize it's Sunday and you're in your 40s.
or in my case was on Nuke High where I we had to wake up at like 5 o'clock every day and have like meetings.
Uh-huh.
But then after that, I was still like for a long time waking up feeling like I was late for a meeting. Like oh my, it was like wartime like PTSD. Where it's like I was like, huh, oh wait, no, I don't have to be anywhere. I don't have to be anywhere. I think it was only me and a certain few that felt like that because there's some people that like would sleep and like miss the meeting
Mm-hmm.
and nobody would tell them shit. But for some reason, my dumb ass was like, I gotta be at the meeting.
What
So,
was it like being a part of that? So then because the original one is a classic. It's a Trauma Legacy movie. So what was it like being part of a continuation of that?
uh, I don't know. There's so much about. I mean, I was trying to figure. I was like, it was like looking at their Cretans or looking at our Cretans. I felt like there was so much different between the two that I didn't stress out too much about it
Yeah.
because there was just a different. Like they were immediately Cretans, and we were the Glee Club that became the Cretans.
Yeah.
So we had like a flip. So I focused in on that, where I was like, playing like, the hey guys, how you doing? 1, 2, 3. Ah. I was like, being all, very, very meek to kind of, supplant the devious behavior of the Cretans later on.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember Babette Bombshell, who played the principal in the movie. Yeah, she remember her telling me, like, I wish there was more of you as the Glee Club member, so you would get more credit for this performance. It's just some people didn't just assume I just came on set was just being all crazy. It's like you can see actually there's levels to this game.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think I actually had to. I got to act with Pritchard. That was cool.
Yeah.
Robert Pritchard, he played the original Head Cretin.
Yeah.
And me and him, I got to kill him on screen, which I thought was really cool. So that was probably the one day where I felt like a little bit of like pressure. That because it was like a last minute thing.
Mm-hmm.
We got Pritchard. It's like, oh, Okay. Yeah. And he's still like a handsome man, still there. I'm like, where's my dopey ass going like, I'm the new you. Waka waka. You know. So, yeah. But I mean
So,
it was like Nukem High was like summer camp for me. And you probably have other people that have other experiences and they have other things. I was lucky where it was summer camp. I had fun. I mean, there was trials and tribulations here and there, but it was like nothing that's like traumatizing.
yeah.
Because we're making a movie. We're not like But it was summer camp to the degree where we were all working towards the same thing. It was fun. It was challenging, and it's a movie people like, people
Yeah.
love. So, yeah. You got some people you got people out there that at the drop of a hat they'll say something negative, or make a big thing about it so they
Oh,
can.
trust me, I've seen.
Yeah, and I'm just there like, you take what you can, you learn, and you move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, they're not ugly home runs. You know what I mean? I've learned that doing my thing. You have fun doing it. The people who come on with you enjoy it. That's all that matters.
Hmm.
What got you into acting?
Oh, what was it? Uh, well, being a neurodivergent child as I was, I really didn't have anything particularly good at growing up.
Yeah.
So like, I decided to do like theater when I got to high school, and I remember I did a monologue, and I was assigned this monologue. I went all out in it, and I remember I like flopped down on the floor, and I was like really going hardcore, and I thought I did a good job.
Yeah.
Uh, Now, the monologue was like this guy who was dying in a prison cell, so I thought I did a good job.
Yeah.
And then the theater teacher says, "Vito, great job memorization, but I couldn't see your face. You were staring at the floor the whole time." And I was like, "Oh, shucks. Okay." And I walk off stage, and I'm very like down on myself, like, "You dummy, you fucking,
Yeah.
you know." Well, lesson learned, like face up, face the audience, let them
Yeah.
see your face. But then this girl named Andrea Munoz was a friend of mine, still a friend of mine to this day. She came up to me and she's like, "I really liked it. I really, we couldn't see your face, but you felt everything you were saying. You should try out for the one act play." I was like, "Oh, okay." Try out for the one act play, got in that, had a really fun time. And now, now in Texas, when you do one act plays, it's part of the elastic program of the state.
Yeah.
So basically, it's a one act play is a competition. Here I am, a freshman. I'm like, what are we doing after the show? Everyone stays behind, and a judge talks about the play,
Yeah.
talks to each cast and the director.
Right.
So in my head, I'm like, "Hey, what? Wait, what are we doing?" This guy's gonna tell us, and he's like, just going, Patrick, you did a good job. Patrick, you did good. You were very charismatic. Come on, you were on stage. You did really great." So he's going down the line, talking to every fucking actor, and I'm still like, "Oh shit, ah shit." He's being critical with some people and praising the other people, and I'm still like, damn it. He gets to me, and he's just like, "Here we go. Oh, you played Pasquale. Good job. You had a relationship with everyone on stage, a different relationship. Good job." Because it wasn't a big role,
Yeah.
but I brought something to it where I had a different, like I said, I had a different relationship with every person on stage. So, and in my head, it's like that weird like gratification of like being told a good job, when in my life I wasn't exactly told a good job on a regular basis.
Right.
So I was like, ooh, so I got a little greedy for it. I wanted more of it.
Oh
So
no, I feel you. My dad used to always tell me to this day, actually, that I should have been a blowjob. So I totally understand it.
at least he's being clever about it.
He's being honest, and I can appreciate that.
You should have been a blowjob, you fucking freak of shit, boy. Oh my god. Wow. all the effort I put into you and all that. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Fine, dude.
The pumping and the humping. Oh.
We need to make some great promo materials. I'm telling you right now. Just to get pumping and humping on there. That's all. I'm just going to make a promo for that.
Hopefully, yeah.
So now, segueing off of this in horror, we've geeked out many times on Facebook over our love of the slasher genre. We did. We've talked urban legends and Scream and stuff. So, as an actor, especially in the horror community, is there certain particular roles you migrate to, or is there like a certain genre that because the ones we've discussed so far have been kind of like different types of roles. So, is there or different type of genre of horror?
Well, if you take a look at my certain filmography that I'm in,
Mm-hmm.
now this is like maybe a challenge to an audience member out there to be like, hey, why don't you watch my movies and see where at a certain point I just end up killing everybody in a very it's just like all of a sudden I'm just killing everybody at a certain point.
Yeah.
I am the boogeyman with no mask at a certain point. Or in heavy makeup, or I'm just like killing people. It's like even like in like some like urban down and dirty drama like Pigpen. If you want to give that one a shot, like that one, I tend to deviate. It's a little bit like, wait a second, when did we start going here?
Right.
This is some coming of age like horror film, and now it's like it's a slasher flick. So. I don't gravitate. I don't seek it out. It just kind of finds me.
Yeah.
It was a damn cat. Can you hear that?
A little bit, yeah. But I got my own furry bastard running around here somewhere.
Oh no! My cat's got like a snot bug. She's just like he's like having a hard time getting off. I can just hear from here. I'm like, dang. Okay, sorry about that. But I'm saying the things just find me. I don't really seek them out.
Yeah. Well, would the slasher genre be one of your favorites? As we've talked about it on Facebook a couple of times.
Yeah. Oh yeah. My favorite horror film is Halloween.
What drew you to the slasher genre? Just would that go because a lot of the killers wear masks and stuff, so they're kind of like the being an outcast when you're younger kind of thing?
I don't. I think it was just like that. Liking. It might be like some weird Stockholm syndrome thing.
Yeah.
Like Michael Myers scared me as a kid.
Yeah.
Michael Myers scared me as a kid to a place where I just wanted to I don't know, get used to it and grab it and just kind of like immerse myself into it.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is I think I love like Halloween the most because Halloween has what very few slasher movies have. It has its own Van Helsing in Dr. Loomis.
All right, fair enough.
The man who's running towards the evil, where everyone else is running away from the evil.
Fair enough.
And I love that. Because that's like so that's what I mean. Like, if I always wish that I could play that character.
Yeah.
In a slasher flick. But personally, just saying, I would love to play a Van Helsing, Dr. Loomis character in a slasher flick.
Yeah. Freddy was my jam.
Now Freddy plays in a whole lot of like, what is it, like trauma, abuse.
Yeah.
So I don't care what anybody says. Freddy Krueger is a bit of a pedo.
Yeah.
No, because like it was in the original script, it was child molesting.
Yep.
But then they changed it to child killer. But that's the only bit that they changed, because everything in the script is still kind of there. Because think about it, he's looming over her bed. He's in the bathtub with the razor blades. On the phone, he's like, "I'm your boyfriend now, Nancy."
Yeah.
He's like, that's a teenage girl, boy. Psych off,
Yeah.
So like he's like, there's something very evil on different levels with Freddy. Yeah.
Well, that's why they made him in the remake. They went back to that old school. We got to watch the P word on the channel here because of
Chewy fan.
No, I think that's a bad one. I think that they do something with that. I'll have to look into it. I'm not monetized, so they probably won't give a shit.
Sorry about that.
You're fine. I'll just go back through this and I'll just muffle it when you say that. People will know. That's
He just put Mr. Sawyer over my face and gave the away.
that's why I was just say cuties fan.
Cutie. I'll say right now, it's a cutie fan. Cutie fan. Yeah, me just say, you just start me like cutie fan. Cutie fan.
That's not a bad idea, actually. I should write that down. But yeah, initially that was what he was supposed to be, but I think it was a sensitive. Oh, well, it's not. It wasn't sensitive. It's not sensitive just at that time, but they were extremely cautious about making him that.
Yeah. But I think, but that is that. I think that was I think like the slashers that stand the test of time have elements that are connected to society in one way.
Mm-hmm.
Like Freddy invades your dreams, but when he's invading your dreams, he's invading your privacy.
Yeah.
He's violating you. You know.
Yeah.
You know. I don't even know what words I can say, but you know, violate. He's violating. He's a violator.
Yeah.
Michael Myers is that element around the corner of fear that you have in the middle of the night, where you're like, is there something there? That little fear, you know.
Yeah.
And then like Jason is like this force of nature out in the woods that you're not supposed to be doing. That these things you're supposed to be, you know, when you do bad things, nature gets you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like that representation of nature in a way. And yeah, we just said like Pinhead. You know that like but Pinhead is like that. Is like a pleasure, pain, depending on where you go. You know.
I saw Pinhead and Hellraiser as addiction because they were looking for the ultimate thrill, so to speak.
But depending on the person, it can be that.
Yeah.
For you, that's that. Like me, it would be like trying to find that place of like paradise, but like the path to hell is paved with good intentions type of
Yeah.
thing. You know, which I never know why they never do that in the movies.
What do you mean?
They never explore the person trying to find paradise. Because he says that it's like there's paradise and then there's the hell dimension.
Yeah.
You know, it's never just one. They always make mention that there is paradise dimensions in the mythology of Pinhead, but they never dive into that in the movies. It's always like kind of like weird ties to the first one with Frank being nasty bastard.
They kind of do ish in the one before the reboot. What was it called? Judgment, I think. And spoiler alert, I don't. Then, despite the fact that other people are going to watch it anyways, but they actually introduced angels into the movie. And the thing was that the angels were working with the Cenobites to keep that balance. So if people were seeking out the lament configuration, and they were getting rid of the bad ones while also scaring people going back to religion, kind of thing.
Yeah, but even though they're still being like deliberate saying angels, because it can still be the Cenobites.
Yeah.
Because Pinhead says it himself. He's like, demons to some, angels to some, demons to others.
Yeah.
So it can still be them. They actually introduced angels to this. It's just wherever the dimension is. I just thought that would be interesting. Like it would make it less what was done before thing. Sticking it out. Huh?
Number 4 was Bloodlines.
Yeah.
That was the one that took place in 3 different time periods.
Oh, I love that one. No, I love that. Actually, I love Bloodlines. People hate on Bloodlines. I love Bloodlines.
Yeah.
Because they introduced the space thing where I felt like it didn't overdo the space element to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of like a happy medium. And maybe it's because you got to be in the past. You got to be, all these different places. Yeah, I've even seen the work print cut of it. Which is why I can. Yeah. Which is it dives into things more. Like in that one, it's very old school where you'll see Pinhead for like a very long time in that guy.
Mm-hmm.
So
he's got like 5 or 10 minutes of screen time in the first one.
But baby, that is quality over quantity in my book.
No, about a year ago, he's a good friend of mine. He was a guest on my show a couple of months ago. We went and saw a re-release of the original Hellraiser in theaters right around Valentine's Day, actually. He was my date for it, and it still holds up.
Well, I mean, the first Hellraiser is a pure indie film,
Yeah.
and it still has that like element of uncomfortable watching to it, where you're like, I shouldn't be watching this in some of the parts. You know what I mean? Kind of like when you watch like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, where you're like, you know, get like that uncomfortable feeling about it a little bit. You know?
Yeah.
So
I got that uncomfortable feeling when I was watching Freddy vs. Jason, and he had the blonde chick on the ground and said, first time tends to get a little messy.
oh,
Yeah, you remember that shit.
he had some zingers in that one. I mean, like the dark meat line. I was like, Freddy. I mean, we're already rooting for Jason. You don't need to, you don't need to get the heat. You know, that's a wrestling term, like get the heat. It's like we're already rooting for Jason, man. I mean, come on, you don't need to get the heat here, man.
I love that one though. That it got so much hate. That's a guilty pleasure of mine for sure.
But I think you just have to accept it for what it is. It's like the movie knows what it is.
Yeah.
So just I mean, come on, because like if you think about it, it's like you had the Universal monsters, and then the Universal monsters eventually did versus movies,
Yeah.
and then we had the slasher boom.
Yeah.
So it just seemed like the obvious, but late to the party, but still kind of like still welcomed. Better late than never.
Yeah.
You know. So I have fun with it. I remember I dismissed it when it first came out in my young, stupid, naive mind, where I was like, "This is some bullshit, man. You can't make it happen." Yeah. But I think because like if you look at like the fantastical nature of Nightmare on Elm Street and the we don't give a shit about sense in Friday the 13th series,
Yeah.
it works.
I remember hearing about them talking about Freddy vs. Jason when Wes Craven's New Nightmare was coming out. I was reading about it in Fangoria magazine.
Uh-huh.
That was, 97, 98 or something like that? I think it took another, 4 or 5 years or something to come out? 4, 5, 6 years? I think August 2003 was Freddy vs. Jason, so about 6 or 7 years. And I was excited for it, man. I was there opening nights. I got it on DVD that Christmas. I love that movie.
But I like I said, like I love it now because I can just like appreciate it for what it is, especially when it's been like what decade plus since we've had a Freddy or Friday the 13th movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I
want to say 2009 was Friday the 13th and 2010 was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, I'm one of the few people that says that I think the Friday the 13th remake on a filmmaking level is probably better than the first few Friday the 13th.
All right.
But it's just on a filmmaking level thing where it's like, okay, they simplified the story. They basically took 1 through 3 and just kind of slammed it all together.
Yeah, they cherry picked it.
Yeah. So, and I have a lot of fun with that. One. But I mean, I say, it's not a filmmaking level. It's better.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still the social significance of the first movie, the reveal of Pamela Voorhees. It's like weird. It's like they didn't want to touch the Pamela Voorhees thing.
Yeah.
So they used it as a prologue.
Right.
It's like we're not going to get into that because that's like I mean, so I mean, like it's just one of those things where I was like, okay, cool, okay, they're utilizing that, so they're just jumping right to the fantastical Jason stuff. Okay, so I don't know how you feel about it. 'Cause I know a lot of people hate on that one, and I'm like, I have a lot of fun with that one.
I don't hate it. I do love Jared Padalecki. I own and seen every episode of Supernatural.
Sam,
exactly.
Sam.
I think the addition of him in that movie, especially around the time period that movie came out, made Friday the 13th kind of feel like a higher budget version of Supernatural. There's actually fan theories that he's not who he says he is in the movie. He's actually Sam Winchester on a hunt.
I'll take that too, baby. I'll take it. Just play Carry On the Wayward Sons before you get on the screen. I'm right there. I'm right there. Where's Dean? Damn it, Sammy! Why did you call me?
I don't have time to get it now. I'll have to send you a picture after we get off. My sister, a year ago for Christmas, got me a Dean's jacket for Christmas. Like, not Dean's jacket, but, the brand of coats he wears or whatnot. I'll have to send you a picture. But I own
we're big Supernatural fans in this house.
We might go to spoiler territory, but it's been over for years. What did you think of the finale?
Of what?
Supernatural, like the final episode.
Victim of COVID.
Yeah.
Well, because I like the wrap up where now they're no longer part of what destiny or fate in a way. So like they're just normal dudes going about their day.
Yeah.
And just like anything, okay, a normal dude at some point would die regularly. So I got the whole his death.
Yeah.
But like being a victim of COVID, they couldn't bring everybody in that afterlife shot,
Yeah, I heard that they had wanted to bring a whole bunch of recurring characters to be on that bridge with them.
Yeah, But I still like that last shot of like Carry On My Wayward Son. He's driving, and you see Sam's life kind of play out.
Oh, dude, they're right in the feels, man.
Yeah, it still worked for me. I know that there was like like I said, a victim of COVID because they couldn't do everything they wanted to do.
Yeah.
But it still hit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Him driving in heaven like that, he starts his car up and Carry On My Wayward Son starts playing, just like, God, I love this song. And who doesn't?
Yeah.
Nobody, you cannot get tired of that song.
I don't. I listen to different versions of it all the time. I sometimes I sing it to my boy to sleep. So
Oh shit.
but yeah. Well, he has a very wide songs that he likes right now.
Yeah.
So but yeah, it's like I would say watch I was like say someone who like hasn't seen Supernatural, I'll be like watch up to 5.
Yeah.
For just pure, it's a good show.
Mm-hmm.
But everything after 5, you have to be on board with.
Yeah.
You have to just have to enjoy the characters and just seeing the characters.
Mm-hmm.
And people enjoyed seeing the characters, which is why it went on for 10 years.
Right.
Which is why they attempt spin-offs.
Yeah.
When you enjoy the characters, you will look past a lot of shit.
I wouldn't have anybody start on past season 5.
Yeah, it's like if you like it on a critical level, maybe try 6. But if you're not on board, just leave it alone. Let it be.
6.
It's like Dexter. Dexter.
Yeah, absolutely.
I used to say just stop at 5.
Yeah.
Same thing. 5 has a good wrap up.
Yeah.
From the high of 4.
Right.
It goes down to where he kind of like figures things out. He's getting his family life together. He's getting over Rita's death. But after that, they go down a slippery slope of like a lot of high swings and misses left and right, and a very bad finale.
4 was the be-all end-all season for me.
Yeah. No, but the thing is, the way it ends, it's not very satisfying. Yeah. But 5 has a good. But 5's the end of season 5 has a good placement of Dexter, where he's like, okay, I figured out how to be after Rita.
Yeah.
I have my relationships are all in order. There's no loose threads. That could have been just the end of the series.
True.
Where he just keeps doing his thing while he's balancing being a father, a stepfather, and police force and dead.
Right.
It has a good place of like, okay, we can just end it right here. There's no loose thread.
That was
everything after that.
Barrel Girls killer with Julia Stiles, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's figuring, huh? What?
I remember that season. I've seen the first 8 of them. So.
Oh, did you say it was terrible?
No, I remember it.
Oh, okay. I thought you said terrible. I was like, I don't think it was that bad.
But I see the point because she left at the end, so he was just kind of on his own, no loose threads, etc.
Yeah, like he's like I'm figuring things out, Yeah. But everything after that is like a lot of high swings and cliffhangers, and you're like, okay, there's no way to end this sucker.
Right.
But then they did the revival series, and then
Yeah.
they did the Resurrection, and Resurrection is so damn good.
Yeah. I haven't
And
seen either of those. I don't have access to. I think you're on Cinemax.
no, it's a Paramount Plus.
You need the Showtime or Cinemax add-on, though. I
Yeah,
think.
yeah. But Dexter Resurrection is so good. Now I'm like, okay, just watch it all and get to there. Because that's like just watch it. You have now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Uh, but yeah, Dexter Resurrection is worth watching. Yeah.
I haven't meaning to check it out. I just did. You see the Supernatural spinoff Winchesters?
I think I saw the ending because that team was in it.
Yeah, I watched I think the first four, and I'm like, I just can't do it. I wanted to.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If it doesn't have the same vibe, character-wise, of like Sam and because like the show rides so much on Sam and Dean, and then Castiel, and then little characters that come along the way, and then freaking I don't know on his name, Crawley.
Yeah.
That it's like if you don't have those interesting characters that you just want to watch
Yeah.
and get excited when they come up, like Castiel being, why is she loving them? Why is she loving the mailman so much?
Yeah, he kissed.
Oh, the pizza man, the pizza man.
Man.
Why is she loving the pizza man so much? He's like, Cass, are you watching porn? Oh, look, he's got a boner.
One of my favorites is when he loses his memory, and he's sitting there watching Scooby Doo, and they're talking about what's going to happen to him. It's like eventually he'll forget to even breathe. It sucks to be that guy. That definitely had some good ones, even with the hit or miss seasons,
Oh, that's what basically you watch it for them. That's like after a while, you forget what season you're in, and you're like, wait, what? Is this the darkness? Is this the darkness? Is this the wait? Where are we? Where are we? Wait, what's Adolf Hitler doing here? Wait a minute. Okay. But I mean, like, as we're fans, we have two Maine Coon cats, and they're both named Sam and Dean.
Nice.
So
I just have the one. He's Mr. Beans, and he's an idiot. I did not name him. That was his name when he was adopted. What are you doing? He's over there right now.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Beans. Yeah, he's been in my videos a couple times. He's a freeloading asshole, but he's my buddy. So, all right. Well, that's going on to. We usually try and keep these around an hour, so we're at that mark. I want to keep you too long. I appreciate you coming out here, man. I had a blast geeking out with you, and I hope you're down for doing it again sometime.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah. You want to? I'm down. I think we had a. I think we were on the bench a little bit. I was like, okay. I think we like. I don't know. I think we touched different areas here. We weren't just like wow. I think we got into some.
We freestyled.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're welcome back anytime, man. Is there anything you want to plug before you get? What can we look forward to? What can we look forward to from you in the future?
So that's an open-ended question because it's like like a New York Odyssey I just did a little while ago. There's Power Positive Murder that might come out at some point in time.
I've been hearing about that one, yes.
Oh, I got Nightmare at Nana's, which is like a film community up in Vermont. I did. That might
Tell
come
me
out
about
soon.
that one before you go. I got the title alone's got me sold.
Oh, Nightmare at Nana's.
Yeah.
Well, it's about these brothers in a Vermont town who get up to no good out in the woods.
All right.
And they spend a night at Nana's out of the woods. And I'm basically chasing these fools all throughout the woods. So I'll send you a photo from the movie just so you get an idea of it. But it was a fun little ride. I'll tell you that.
I am intrigued by that. I know I've heard a lot about the power of positive murder from a few of our mutual friends. Yeah. And so I'm definitely going to check that one out. But you sold me on the title of Nightmare at Nana's. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I wasn't. There's another one. Oh, wait. No, I can't. Just sometimes they just blur. But yeah, I mean, Yeah. Yeah. Why did you say that? I mean, also with these projects, you don't know when they're exactly going to come out, so it's always like, because sometimes like what was it? Like there's one thing I filmed back in like before Power Positive Murder in like 2024 that they're still working on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, so it's not ready to be put out. Okay, I won't talk about it. It's like you just want to be all like this film, and then every time you do it, like yes, I'm talking about the same 3 films over and over and over again as I come onto these things, and maybe someday it will come out.
No, Bring on the Dam was one of those. Christy had been telling me about it for quite a bit
well,
there.
well, that one, I mean, they had to deal with like filming during COVID for crying out loud.
Well, did they? Was being worked on back then?
Yeah, it was like during COVID that they had to like kind of like deal with stuff and get like, piece it together as they were going through time. So
Fucking nightmare that was.
yeah, I mean that was the reason for that one. But think about on any level sometimes it can take you a while to get something done.
Yeah.
But then COVID happens and you're like, well, son of a bitch. Like Eating Ms Cambell, the sequel to My Bloody Banjo. That we filmed that in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
But then came back 18 months later during COVID to finish the movie.
Oh no shit.
Yeah, just to give it an idea of like like sometimes you have to come back for reshoots or additional photography.
Yeah.
But then you had COVID in the middle of that, and you're like, oh crap, they just got. Well, we usually be like, okay, we're back like 3 or 4 months after the fact. Okay, 18 months later, we're filming.
Just like we discussed with the Supernatural finale.
Yeah. Yeah, and having to fly during COVID, it was an interesting experience.
Let's not relive that fond memory.
Oh yeah,
was a nightmare.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Cool. Well, when you're ready for this stuff, man, hit me up. Come back on here, and I'll send you those pictures. You send me yours. As bad as that just sounded to people listening.
Cool.
But thank you again for coming out, man. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun hanging out with
No
you.
problem. No problem. This is fun, buddy. I want to do it again.
Fuck yeah, dude. Anytime. So I am the Brewster. That is Vito Trigo, and this has been Brewster Vision presents Brewsteria. Until next time, stay cool, freaky frighteners.
Ah.